Oh, nice, isn't it? What's up? What's up, Amazon sellers? Right. Okay. So today is Monday, and obviously it's YouTube Live, all talking about Amazon things. So if you want to talk about Amazon USA, Amazon UK, anything else to do with Amazon, or even VAs, do let me know. So this is the weekly Fast Track FBA Live. I'm just going to quickly jump on to just to see if we're actually live. So give me 2 seconds. I am just double checking. Give me 2 seconds. Close. And if you are here, drop me a comment down below if there's anything I can help you with. Obviously, more than happy to do that. So let me just quickly check. I'm just going to open up some. I've got some energy drinks today. I'm electrolytes, keeping myself going. So if you're here, drop me a hello down below. Obviously, any questions you've got about your Amazon business, I'm more than happy to help. I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I'm happy to share like what I'm doing, how I'm getting on, like what's going on. So give me a big hello. So let me just quickly check. I'm just going to check that we're actually live in the YouTube channel and also in the Facebook group. But if you are here, drop me a comment down below. I'll share with you like what's going on with my Amazon journey. We just did finance end review for July. It's August now. We kind of do it after the first Friday after the 15th, and really simply we broke the 200k, so £200,000 in the last month. So I'm really happy with that. Yeah, my Amazon business also as well. I just had my new, should we say, call it new business development manager has just started. So that's someone who sits above my purchasing managers, and they are now basically going to run the business for me. So I'm like so happy about that. But give me 2 seconds. Let me just jump on. So I'll talk about that as well. So I think we've got one live now. So just double check. Yeah, I can see I'm live on that. Fantastic. If you are here, do drop a hello down below. Any questions? Let me know where you're calling from. Obviously, right now I'm in Mexico City. You're going to see like that is actually not a background. That is like reality. Yeah, back there. But if you've got any questions, let me know where you're calling from, how you're getting on your Amazon business, arbitrage. We probably help with a bit of wholesale as well. Private label, I'm not so hot on, but also VAs. We've got over 50 VAs now, so I'm more than happy to help that as well. So let me know if any questions you've got, but I will talk through. Let me just double check. So I see we're live on the Facebook group. Let me just double check finally that we are live also. We're live on YouTube, but let me check the Facebook group as well. That'll be obviously a really good one. So Amazon USA. And if you do want to know, maybe you're not part of the Facebook group, yeah, I can see we're live on that. That's great. Do just check Fast Track FBA in Facebook, and obviously you can join that, and obviously Fast Track FBA on YouTube as well, so you can join that as well. Right, let me just kind of jump back. So if you are here, do drop me a hello down below, and obviously I can do that. So if I kind of talk through Amazon USA, what are we going through, or what am I doing in my business? So if you want to know, I've been selling on Amazon now for about 4 years. I also as well have 2 Amazon businesses, UK and USA. UK, we've broken the £1 million mark in the last 7 months. In the last 12 months, also we're about to break it again in this year to date. I think we're at 923,000. And also in the USA, we've got a team we just started. We've probably done like $15,000, not much. So a couple of questions just coming in now. Loving it. Great to see you. Thanks for the questions. And loving it's popped in. And guys, if you do ask questions, obviously I will jump on your questions straight away. I'm here to help you. So have you tried Amazon outlet deals or any type of sale coupons when you have excess of inventory? So I'm assuming you mean selling excess inventory. Good question. First of all, thank you very much. Let me know where you're calling from, loving it. Drop it down below, just like where are you calling from? That'd be great to know. What part of the world? And I assume, just let me know also as well, I think you're probably doing private label, if that's right. So let me know about that. And so I think, look, you can certainly do that. Outlet deals, I think you're saying private label. If you're doing something like wholesale or arbitrage, I probably wouldn't be doing that unless you're getting massive supply from a wholesaler at a great price that you can shift it. I think when you're trying to do like those sales coupons, you need to, lightning deals, for example, you need to be at least 30% lower than the minimum price over the last 90-day period, or 30-day period actually. And as a result, it's probably, you're not going to really make much money. So long story short is I haven't tried them myself, and so I can't really speak from experience. if you're doing private label, cool, I can get that. It can help drive your revenue, or drive your, not revenue, your sales rank. Obviously, it will drive your revenue, but sales rank is one you're really looking at to grow volume. But I do think for you is like, unless you're going to be like getting massive supply, if it's private label, not a problem. But if you can get a great supply from your wholesale, like maybe you're doing a big volume that you're purchasing, you just want to shift the volume. So it's like, I've just invested a lot of money in this, I want to get it shifted. Not a problem. I think that can work. They do work to a certain extent, and you see it. Obviously, there's a reason why. Amazon knows, but I do just think it takes a bit of trying. So I don't think there's really much help. But I think for you, if you're doing private label, okay. If you're doing wholesale, where you're getting a big bulk supply from your supplier, cool, that works. But if you're doing anything else, I probably wouldn't advise it. I'd probably say just drop the price and try and get the sales velocity up. Again, I don't really know what you're trying to do. So, like, what's your reason for trying it? And also the model that you're operating on. Generally, everything that I do is probably is arbitrage as opposed to wholesale, so it's not really something we do. I'm loving it. Let me know a little bit more details down below, like what's the model you're doing and why do you want to do this? What's the reason for it? So I can give you a bit more information. Ali's popped in. Hello, everyone. Ali, great to see you. Thank you very much for obviously joining and asking questions. Really value that. Let's just jump over to the question you've got. I need to ask something. So whenever she said, whenever I enter a list, Amazon keeps being there after I enter that listing. So I also check keeper graphics. I can't understand. Interesting. Sometimes it does happen. Ali, let me know how many listings you're on, and also as well how many listings Amazon has joined. Like, if you're saying that I've entered like 4 listings and Amazon's been on, then I'd probably say that it's not enough. But if you've done like 100 listings and Amazon's joined all 100, then that sounds a bit higher. So something to think about there. I think also as well, when you check your keeper graphics, zoom out to 1 year, but also all time. Just have a quick look. If Amazon's ever been on history, 3 months is a default keeper. It's not enough. So just check on that. So, and it does happen. Sometimes you just have to clear down. That's the very nature of it. Ali's also dropped in here. I'm also tend to find average profitable products a day. Is this a good rank? Well, profitable products and rank are 2 different things. Rank is obviously depending on what you want. Number of profitable products is like number of deals per day. 5 to 10, I think you're doing a fantastic job if you're doing 5 to 10. When we talk about VAs in the VA Academy, in a typical day, if they can get 10 deals a day, fantastic, absolutely brilliant. Rank is sales rank is something very different, and generally in the UK we're looking at sub 100,000. In the USA we probably look sub 250, but again it would be depending on your criteria and what you're looking at. So I hope that helps. If I just come back, you have mentioned earlier on, yeah, you're looking 2 out of 10 Amazon have jumped on. Sometimes it happens. Expand your criteria, not the 3 months, do it to 1 year, do it to 1 year, 1 month, if that makes sense. 1 year, and then even all time. Just have a quick look. Sometimes you can't help it. It's the very nature of the business that we operate in. Also as well, just remember COVID's had a real impact on supplies and shipping. So Amazon may have dropped off and now they might start getting supply back in again. That's something to think about. But I hope that's helpful for you, Ali. Guys, if you've got questions, let me know down below, or just let me know where you're coming from. If there's anything I can help you with in your Amazon business, I will really try and answer it. I do these calls to support the community, whether it be, I'm not saying I'm an expert, but if I can just help you and guide you, I'm really happy to do that. So let's just come back to a question here. So Tony Wentworth has come in. So Tony, thank you so much for asking, and thank you for joining, by the way. Let me know where you're calling from. Drop it down below. So I'm pulling my hair out at the moment, suspended due to a complaint that one of my items was used. Not the case, all brand new. Okay, cool. Now Tony's come in and said, I sent my proof of purchase to Amazon and a plan of action, even though I've done nothing wrong. I've heard nothing back from this in 6 days now. Any advice? Okay, so 2 things for you. It's the most frustrating thing in the world, but patience is a key here. Don't keep emailing Amazon. That's the top tip I can say to you. So if I'm assuming Amazon have come back and said you've had a used sold as new, and I'm assuming and they suspended immediately, which sounds a bit crazy. Like I'm not really used to them suspending the first case. So just tell me if there's something else in that situation. So I'm assuming then that you've read the email, you've written your plan of action, you've attached your invoice with your purchase, and I'm assuming the invoice that you've supplied is actually a detailed invoice from the supplier. It's not like a till receipt, for example, from I don't know, TK Maxx, where it just kind of says toy £3. It's got to have the product on there. If it doesn't have the product, you're gonna really struggle. And I'll come on to what I might think about doing that. But you've got to make sure that, number one, that receipt looks very, it's got to be completely legit from Amazon. It can't be like a dispatch notice. It can't be like a confirmation email. It's got to be an invoice from the supplier, whether it be wholesaler. If it's online arbitrage, you need to message them, say, can I have a VAT invoice? I think, Tony, you popped in there. Yeah, proper invoice, fantastic. So you sent that back, and now Amazon haven't responded. It's been 6 days. That's fine. Just give it a couple more days. I'd probably say up to 2 weeks. And then see what happens. And I'm assuming you've only messaged them once. They're not the fastest people in the world. They should get back to you, but just keep an eye on the case. My advice would be, there's two things you could do if you just want to kind of do. You can go into Seller Central. They have a button called Contact Us Now. And you get on the phone with someone. Get on the call. The guy on the phone will not be able to help you. But if you very sweet talk him and be very nice, like, hey, it's my business. I really love selling on Amazon. I know you can't tell me what's going on, but is there any chance you could just tell me where it is in the workflow? They have an internal workflow, and he might be able to tell you that. He might not be able to, because I've seen it before where we've had it previously. He could tell me where it is in the workflow, but just got to be very nice. It's not his problem. And they do, I think you mentioned it down here. Yeah, they freeze your sums, and it's like, but just slow down. Like, I know it's really, really stressful. These things do happen, and I had it last November. So you might be able to sweet talk him and ask. Now, the question is hopefully that's your first email. You've not been bombarding them with non-stop messages, because they do have a limit. Now, wait for them to come back to you. And if you haven't heard anything, my general thought process is, I'm assuming you're looking to sell on Amazon and take it seriously. So, and this is a long-term investment, not like I'm kind of dabbling in that. And I hate to say this, but it might be worthwhile. But you might look at like one of the the companies out there who can get you unsuspended. And what do I say about that? Like, there are companies that do. I probably just put into a couple of Facebook groups. 1 second, Amazon. I'm just trying to see if I can find it. There's one that, yeah. So there's one company that I think, and the reason why I say this is because if you are suspended, just even paying like £500, $500 to get unsuspended can be worth it. Why? Because if you lose your account, you can never sell on Amazon again. And even if you decide, actually, no, it's not what I want to do, it might not, the answer is that to be able to lose the opportunity to be able to do this for the rest of your life, you'll always be like, man, I should have just spent the £500. So yes, £500 is quite a lot of money right now, but long-term wise, it's just like an learning investment. So these things do happen. I do say that. So one people I do kind of look at potentially are Thompson and Holt.com. Not use them personally, heard a lot of people. Also, Tony said, yeah, so Tony, you comes out and said you come back and use the Kiki. That's the only fan. Not a problem. The only problem comes is you're using templates and you might be missing something out. If Kiki can give you her feedback, check with her first of all, not a problem. If not, it might be worth just going to someone a bit more who will just do it for you. Because at the end of the day, you want the process done and you want to get it unsuspended. Yes, it's £500. Yes, it's a lot of money. But we're talking like, my God, like, I average out about £7,500 net profit per month. And admittedly, I've been doing it for a while. But don't worry about the price today, worry about the opportunity you're losing in the future. That's what you need to be thinking about. So £500 a day is nothing when you think about every month like you're making 7,500. Like, that's what I want you to be thinking about. But you'd be kicking yourself if everyone else is selling on Amazon and you're not. So long story short is, yeah, you're saying they're freezing your funds. I would speak to them. Oh, they're over 1,000. Wow, you just come back. Ask the question, give them a call, send them a message, ask the question. I think they're about 500, don't quote me, but just ask the question. Yeah, I think that'd be my advice. What you're probably looking for is a done for you service, not about ones that you do yourself. Why? Because potentially it might be the case that you're missing something and you won't know it until you lose your account. And Amazon will never tell you, but you'll be like, I lost my account, here's what I sent, and then people go, no. Also, don't be afraid to put your plan of action onto the Facebook groups. A lot of people will comment, a lot of people will give you feedback on it. I think that's really good. So, and you just mentioned, I know what you're saying, but also when you have caps on what you can send in now, not making profit. Agreed. Tony, if I talk about you right now, we've done £15,000 in revenue in the USA, and right now I'm making 0 profit. You might call me a crazy man, but I'm not interested in making this profitable when I'm just getting started. I've got a team, I've got everything else. This is a long-term investment. So I think that is the most important thing. I'm just gonna make a note. So that's the most important thing. So do think about that, and this is long term, where you want to be in 1 year's time. It takes time. It isn't in the short term. So long story short, Tony, is slow down, give it another 7 days. If you haven't heard back, go find a done for you service, speak to them. You might be doing that process now, just getting quotes, and then go find out. Also as well, don't go the cheapest. It isn't always necessary. So Thompson Holt is someone that I've spoken to a lot of people who've gone through. They recommend it. I've never had to use them myself. The services I use do charge like £2,000 if you get suspended, but we've kind of paid for the subscription beforehand. Kiki, fantastic. Check her out. See if she can help you, but don't just use your templates on your own. Make sure your templates are perfect. That's my thought. But Tony, good luck with that. Let me know how you get on. Let's just kind of come back. Ali's mentioned, I love your videos, man. It's really valuable. Thank you for all of it. No problem, Ali. I'm glad. Honestly, I'm super glad I can help you. That's really good. If you've got questions, let me know down below. So Loving It has come back. So Loving It is, I'm doing arbitrage and I have some seasonal products. I want to remove my inventory. I think about getting out of the sales option. Loving It, unless you've got something like insane volumes of stock, and I'm talking like thousands upon thousands, if not tens of thousands of pounds or dollars worth of stock. I don't think outlook sales would really help you. Just crash the price. Just crash the price. If you really want to clear it down, I would put it at break even. You said it's seasonal. Season's about to finish. Break even, get it cleared. If not, take a small loss. My God, if you've got like 100 items of a product and you're going to take a $1, £1 loss on all of them, it's going to cost you £100. Yeah, I don't deny that. But it's money out of the product right now that you can reinvest into something which will make you money. If you're going to have to sit on that stock for another year until it comes back, or 6 months till it comes back in season, my God, you could have made that $1 that you potentially lost and turn the stock a few more, that money a few more times. That's super, super important. So I think for you is just be super mindful of that. So I don't think about outlet sales. I don't think about doing that. Just crash the price, get out of there. Very, 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 very normal. I hope that, Tony, Loving It, let me know if that helps you out and answers your question. Guys, if you do have questions, or if you just joined, or anything else I can help you with, please, please, please put it down below. That's going to be helpful. Obviously, I spend this hour just to help you guys, give you one-to-one feedback, or one-to-group, one-to-many, and just share. I'd love to hear what's going on, and if I can help you. I don't know the answers, but if I can, that'd be great. Tony said, okay, thanks. Yeah, Tony, I'd do that. That's my thoughts. Let's jump back over to Ali has come back in. I need to learn about replan items more, Tom. I can't find so many valuable videos about replans. What would you recommend me to find them? I'm just getting temporary deals, so I need to find them. Great question. Absolutely great question. I'm going to let you into a secret, and it's not really a secret. It's in a very open secret. Let me give you some statistics. So replans, what do I mean? Okay, when you talk about replans, what do I talk about in replans? How are we different? Look, I believe your idea of a replan is a product that you can buy today, sell it, and then rebuy, and then rebuy, and rebuy. I'm going to tell you now, it's wrong. Absolutely wrong. That isn't what a replenishable is. Why? Because the very nature of arbitrage, and if you're doing arbitrage, by the way, this is, it just doesn't happen. So in my business, what is the definition of a replan? Well, my definition of a replan is any product that I can buy today, I can sell, and then I can rebuy at any point, and I'm not saying at all points, but at some point, should we say, in the next year. So what do I mean by that? Is that, let's say, for example, I have 100 SKUs and I sell them all today, fantastic. Well, I do not expect that all 100 of them are going to be available again to rebuy the moment I've sold out, not at all. But what I do expect is that some of them are going to be available. I'll tell you how many statistically. how that some of them will be available to rebuy at some point in the next 365 days. Now, it might be the case that they are available to rebuy more than one time over the next 365 days, i.e. they come on sale, they go off sale, they come on sale, they go off sale, etc., etc. But all I expect from a replan is that they are available to rebuy at some point over the next year, but I do not expect them to be available at all times throughout the next year. Now, let's give you some really good statistics. Two things I'll share with you. Number one, in my business, percentage of ASINs which are able to restock over the next 365 days. So what do I mean by that is, let's say, for example, last week my team didn't spend so much. They spent £33,000 in stock in the UK. They probably peak at around £45,000 worth of stock. But of that cash value, what percentage of that spend is based on ASINs that we have already purchased over the last 365 days? Well, it's about 75 to 85%, 80%, cool about that. So 4 out of 5 ASINs, 4 out of 5 items we buy every single week are ASINs that we have already put for the last 365 days. I'm not saying they're always replenished, always available, but they have now become available and we've repurchased them. So something very interesting to think about there. Number one is that your stock will not always be available to rebuy. Sometimes it comes on and out, and it's your job to constantly be checking them to see when they come back in sale. Number two, and I'll share this one with you, Amazon Lit. I met Eric from Amazon Lit about a month ago. Interesting enough, he shared something very interesting in a live call that I spoke to him with, is that a public call, so I can share it, is that he said, and he does wholesale, by the way, he does 50 million a year in Amazon, and he said that out of their, they do about 5 million a month right now, it's like insane, or 4 million a month. They said that out of all the wholesale lines, only 50% of them are replenishable. So that means they're buying wholesale volume, shifting them, and they can't buy them again. So when people talk about replenishable items, our perception of what replenishable are and what the reality of the situation is, even in the wholesale market, it's just that's not true. So change your mindset about what is replenishable, and I think you're going to start really finding more opportunities, because what everyone calls replenishable isn't always replenishable. That's the thing. Mr. Luke Dugan does $250,000 in Q4 last year. He talked about replenishables, and if I put it in perspective with him, he talked about his replenishable models. He has about 250 SKUs, but that he always buys, but at any one time, only 100 of them are available to purchase. So again, what does it tell us? That 50% of his items are not available to purchase because they're not at the right price. But the moment they do come back to the right price, bang, he's in there and buying them. So probably what your perception of replenishable is not correct to what the market and what everyone else is doing. So hopefully that's helped you. Ali, let me know in the comments down below if that's been helpful. So Callum has come in. Callum, great to see you. Did you set up your LLC yourself, or did you use a formation company? So I used a formation company, and it's a great question, by the way, Callum. I used a formation company, and it wasn't the fact that I couldn't do it myself, and I don't think there's really a problem in doing it yourself. I used a formation company. I think I spent like $300 doing it, but it was just because it was about, I needed it. I didn't have the time. I really didn't have the time. I'm running my Amazon business. I'm running FastTrackFBA, and I wanted to start this one. There's a lot going on, and moving cities, I think it was. I think I was just started. I think Cancun at the time. So I used a formation company. You can do it on your own. What's the couple of things that I did on my own? Bank account, Mercury, you can do on your own. It takes like 5 minutes, really simple. You don't need to be there. You don't even need proof of residency in the US. What else? The LLC was created. We chose Delaware. I filed my first gross sales receipts. The only other thing which I will just say is initial inspections is that the accounting side doesn't look to be cheap. What do I mean by that? I'm probably going to be looking anywhere between at least $600 to $1,000 a month on accounting for an LLC in the US. And how have we done it? Again, speak to your accountant. We've done an LLC taxed as a C Corp, which is very similar to the tax structure within the UK. So i.e. the corporation itself gets taxed first, and then if you want to pay yourself after that, you can. But you can't do S Corp as a UK national or a foreign national in the US. And you can do what's known as a pass-through. So you could do LLC pass-through to like a UK LTD. I don't know how that works exactly. And then the only other one is doing an LLC where you're taxed individually. And like, I just don't know how the taxation works on that. At the end of the day, I want to keep the money within the company. I'm not really interested in taking it myself, because when you take money yourself, taxation on a personal level just becomes a nightmare, and also you get overly taxed too much. So again, speak to a CPA. That's what they're called. They can advise you on the best course of action. But I do think, I set up an LLC. I set up an LLC, taxed as a C Corp. We did it in Delaware, and also as well, they have really quite easy reporting. Interesting enough, when I did my gross tax receipts, I was a bit unsure. I Googled YouTube videos, couldn't find anything. It wasn't very helpful for Amazon sellers. And also I did actually email all my calculations to the Delaware Tax Authority, and they emailed me back and said, yes, you're fine. So I was like, wow, that's really good. Like if you email HMRC and say, here's how I think I should be paid, they'll be like, please speak to an accountant. You're like, oh, thanks. So that was quite nice. But yeah, I used a formation company, so that helped me out. It's just time. I think you need to do it? No, probably not. It's not very hard. The only thing which I'll probably just say is the EIN numbers, employer identification number, for the US as a foreign national did take some time. When I did it, it took 3 months, which was a really big delay. But I do think, I think now it's slowed down because COVID's not really a big problem. So just be mindful of that. But that was it. Callum, let me know in the comments down below if that's helpful, and if you've got any more questions about LLC. So guys, if you've got questions down below, if you've just joined, let me know in the comments down below, like, hey, where you're calling from. Maybe let me know how you're going with your Amazon business. Maybe there's anything I can help with, to support you, where you're calling from, how your Amazon business is getting on. Maybe it's like, I'm struggling with this. If there's something I can help with down below. Again, I use this hour once a week to really support you guys. I'll share about my business, what I'm doing. And if you want to ask me about my business, I'll certainly answer. But do drop your questions down below. And if there's anything I can help you with, I'm more than happy to. So let's just come back. Ali has dropped a question. Do you use partner carried or not? So we don't do anything like container loads. We're not doing, we could probably do like part container loads. I think we do definitely pallet equipments. I think we're probably shipping out anywhere between like 30 and 50,000 pounds a week. So do you use partner carried or not? We always use UPS. So always use the UPS to ship in. Why? We just found it quicker, and our model is very much about turnover, i.e. buy the product, get it shipped into Amazon, get it sold, get the money back out, continue that process. And we're trying to do that as quick as we can. So that's going to be what we're doing. So yeah, that we do use partner carried, but we're not doing like container loads or anything. Ali, I hope that answers your questions. Jump on. Callum's come back in the Facebook group. That's FastTrackFBA USA Facebook group. If you want to join, check it out. Great group. Yeah, great. Thanks, Tom. Currently using Amazon Global account with my UK LDD. Got so many good deals having to pass on. They don't take. Yeah, completely agree. And do you know what? I don't know statistics, but the only statistic I can reference to is Seth Baker, bookseller. He said out of 15 great book suppliers in the US, only 5 will accept international cards. Also, as well, I think that's a really good stat. You're just, oh my God, you're just limiting the amount of suppliers you can buy from in the US. Number 2, the problem you've also got is the fact that even when I do something like, I don't know if it's going to work for you because you are technically saying you are outside the US, so they're expecting it. But when I do, when I was first started purchasing for the USA, I had a prep center in New Hampshire, I had a LLC in Delaware, and I was physically located in Mexico, and as a result, it's like 3 addresses, and my IPs are just a mess. So I had a lot of orders cancelled because they were like, billing address doesn't match shipping address. And they were like, that was just a generic, like I got so many orders cancelled, it was so frustrating. So we've managed now, don't know how we've done it, but we've managed now to get it whereby Mercury, our account, they will allow us, I'm not saying they allow us, but for some reason they're not blocking when the billing address is not the billing address. We put the prep center as a billing address and it just goes through. So we're like, cool. So that's something that does work. So I completely agree. International cards, billing address, absolute pain. And that's why we did LLC. And the other reason was, is we want to open up wholesalers. It's so much easier to say, hey, we're a US company, just deal with us, rather than, oh, we're UK, selling in the US, absolute nightmare. So thoughts there. But Callum, I hope that helps you out there. The other one we need to get now is credit. My God, I want to be doing like $50,000 a week on spend. Think about the cash back, the points, the Amex, the air miles on that. I need to get that. So I need to get myself sorted. William's come back through. What was the pass-through you just mentioned? Can you briefly explain? So I'm not a CPA, speak to an accountant, but I'll give you my definition. So this is not tax advice, it's not professional advice, this is only my interpretation. That should be very crystal clear. A pass-through is whereby you have an LLC, which is a limited liability corporation in the US. And what they do is the LLC makes money. It has a limited liability like protection, but then what happens is all the accounting side gets passed through to the person. So like William, if that was you, it'd be passed through to you. Now the big problem you get is that when you do that, and I'm not 100% sure, is that the US government will want to see that you've paid tax on that money that they've passed through the LLC to you personally. And I'm assuming that will pass through to you personally in the UK. Now, what you need to be very careful about is Amazon is a very massively high revenues. Let's talk about it, like we're doing £200,000 a month in the UK, but but the profit is a lot lower. So effectively, you're going to have to declare on your personal tax return that you're doing £200,000 a month in sales, and then you X profit. So the US government will want to see that you've paid tax on those sales and the profits in the UK, which you can do, but it just comes a bit of a nightmare, and you have tax deductions which maybe might not be applicable, and just X, Y, and Z. So like for me personally, like I'm a big believer, I prefer is, forget me as an individual, look at how big corporations structure themselves, and even like entrepreneurs, they structure themselves whereby they have, they just run, they take no money themselves, everything's in big corporations, and then the corporations pay for a lot of what they need to do. And as a result, they don't earn much. And I'm not expert on this, again, speak to your accountant, is that my understanding of, like, if you look at like rich dad, poor dad, all those kind of things, is like when you take money personally yourself, you're going to get taxed to high heaven. But if your company were to pay something for you, then you don't get taxed. And as a result, there is kind of like benefit in kind stuff that's not perfect. Again, speak to an accountant. But it just makes it more tax efficient. So generally speaking, tax codes really support big companies, but they don't support individuals, especially if you're like a small business owner, one-man band. You just get taxed to high heaven. Employees get taxed. So long story short is you can pass. The pass-through is generally for like consultancy, if that makes sense. Like people whereby it's just time for money equations. Like they give out their labor, they can just use an LLC to protect themselves and then pass it through, and they have their only cost is their labor. That's it. So, but in our business, we do massive costs, massive revenues, so quite small margins. And as a result, I don't think pass-through works. Again, speak to your accountant. I'm not a tax professional. That's my kind of interpretation. William, I hope that helps you. But this is about long-term strategic planning, where you want to be in like 5 years. If I put it in perspective, right now we're doing in the UK £200,000, $250,000 US, and my God, if I were to run that through as a personal person, that's just insane. You couldn't, like, the tax on that would be outrageous. So just be mindful of that. Like, you wouldn't want to do it. And also, oh my God. So yeah, you'd have to be like that registered for yourself, even though you're doing external sales. Don't really know how it works. Cool. Let's come through. Ali has mentioned, guys, if you've got questions, drop them down below. I'm here to help. Ali's mentioned, I'm a non-resident and I'm selling in the US. Would you recommend anything to increase profits? No, but I do think one of the big advantages of being a non-resident in the US, and I did learn this, is that due to the way US tax code works, is that even if you register out of state, it's like, there is advantages to the fact that you can get just number one, use prep centers in zero sales tax, New Hampshire. Where are the other ones? Oh my God, Delaware. There's like 5 states that are tax free. Make sure you use them. I think that's going to be really important. that's just sales tax. So when you purchase for arbitrage, you're not paying sales tax. So even if you have a business license, retail doesn't care. They're not going to give you a discount. So you're doing retail purchasing. So just be mindful of that. But anything other than that, speak to your CPA to increase profits. The other one would be like, what can you offset? Like if you're going to fly to the US, if there's anything like, if you're going to buy a laptop, obviously that's a company expense. It's about all offsetting your as many costs as possible. So, you know, if you're going to ask me, do I think that you're going to be making enough profits in the first 12 months that you can like reduce your thing? No, not at all. Like this is a 12 to 18 month game. It's going to take time, but you can offset. But you know, this is like 3 years down the line where you're like, oh, I want to go to like the ASD show, which is right now in Vegas. I need to fly there. I'm going to buy a laptop. I'm going to stay in some nice hotels, have a nice time. That's company expense. That's going to help you, should we say, decrease taxes because you're reducing your profits. That's kind of what you're thinking about. But again, you've got to be earning like good money. Like that's what I probably recommend. So speak to CPA. That's going to be the most important thing. They can tell you. I'm not a tax professional. I don't know the answers. Ali has also come back. Can you tell me about tax exemption? Do you have knowledge as the US tax? No, I don't know about tax exemption. And my God, it's a super complex thing. So if you're talking about sales tax exemption, that happens when you're doing B2B transactions. If you're looking for zero sales tax states, then obviously look at them. There are 5 in arbitrage. I use them. New Hampshire is the one I do. There's one up north somewhere that I always know that you can look at. A lot of prep centers up there, but that's the only other thing that I'd say. But I don't know about sales tax exemption. I think you need to speak to your CPA about that. Sorry, I'm not a tax expert. I'm still learning a lot. Guys, if you've got questions, let me know down below. I'm here to help. And I'm honestly, if I can help you, then let me just drink some coffee. Oh, lovely. I love my coffee. So let me know if any questions down below. That's pretty much the end of your questions. But if you've got any more, do just ask. I'll jump straight onto them. But I'm going to share about my business. Right now, so you know, we've got UK and USA. Had a blinding month last month. My God, my VAs earned the biggest bonus they've ever earned in their life, and it's quite insane how much they earn. Like so much so, I'm like, wow, we're paying too much money out in bonuses. But what also we do is the other one is we're looking at is to say that what else. We've got a new business development manager who's coming in who sits above my 2 purchasing managers. So my 2 purchasing managers will still run the businesses as normal, but then it was me, but now it's going to be purchasing managers, team, and then business development manager, and then me. The idea is to get me out, but also why? A couple of things. Number one, we want them to grow their business, and I think having someone there full-time is going to really help that. Number 2, I do think there's a great opportunity with wholesale, speaking to suppliers, and I think we can improve the margin. So that's something that I'm really going to be looking at over the next kind of like couple of months. Q4 is coming up. There's going to be so much work we can do in Q4 just to drive revenue. My God, we're doing nearly quarter of a million a month right now. My team's just getting back up to speed. There's so much we need to do. So I think Q4, I hate to say it, can we do $1 million in Q4? That'd be a big challenge. 333,000 per month. That's going to be a big challenge. So if I could do that, I'd be well happy. We've got the money in the bank. It's just going to be a big challenge. So we shall see how it goes. Wish me luck, but I think, my God, can we do I'm going to write that down. Can we do $1 million in Q4? 1 million, that's Q4 starts 10, 11, 12. We've got one more month, 1 million in Q4. That is scary, absolutely scary. We're doing 600,000. Like right now, I think if we do nothing, we'll do £600,000 in Q4 in sales, which is a lot. 600K in Q4. If we do absolutely nothing, carry on what we are, £600,000 in Q4. But can we do $1 million in Q4? That'd be incredible. I think we can. I think if the team's really on fire, I think we can do it. Tony's coming in. What country am I in now? If you want to know, Tony, I am in Mexico City, still here. I signed a contract for 12 months. I really enjoy it here. Beautiful weather, always between 20 and 30 degrees C, never too hot, never too cold. There are 17 WeWorks, great business, entrepreneurial space here. I'm in so many digital nomad meetups, met so many cool people, met quite a few Amazon sellers as well. Life is cheap. You know, you can get an Uber for half an hour for like $3. It's absolutely amazing. What else? food. I'm just going to get fat. There's so many takeaways. Need to go to the gym, but also as well, I really enjoy it. I love the city. Very beautiful. I don't deny I do live in the super like nice place, not the most expensive place, but a really nice place. Lots of greenery, lots of trees. Just type in Roma, Roma, and then Norte, Norte, and then Mexico City, and to Google, look at images, and you'll see how beautiful it is. I live in Roma Norte. It's absolutely gorgeous. Like some people say, like Roma Norte and Condessa is more European than London is. That's what I mean. It's absolutely beautiful. It's lovely. I'll be here for quite some time. I will travel. I do want to go to the Philippines, but the biggest problem I have right now is I'm on the polar opposite time zone of the Philippines. So lots of 6 a.m. starts, lots of 12 o'clock finishes, but I do that. So Tony said, can you do a travel log like you did a while back? Or do you want me to do some like vlog style travel videos of what I'm up to? I'll try and do that. I'd like to go on some like trips around. So yeah, I'll try and get something done. I think also as well, the one question I just kind of ask is about what is the channel about? The Facebook, the YouTube channel, and it's very much about selling on Amazon. I don't really want it to be like a whole travel vlog thing, and I just want to be very mindful of that. So when I do the vlogs, I really want to make sure that they have a bit of an Amazon spin to them, not just about like a travel vlog. So I will try and do some of those, Tony. Hope that has helped. Guys, if you've got questions, drop them down below. I'm here to help. Anything I can help with your Amazon businesses, maybe challenging sourcing, etc., etc. I've got a lot of videos that I want to make. Tony talked about it, do a travel vlog. I'm thinking about possibly getting away this weekend. A couple of the videos I'm looking to make are, we've just done the £1 million journey, so we've done 1 million. I'm really, really happy with that. What do we want to do over the next 12 months or 18 months between now and the end of 2022? 3 million, possibly, don't know. Number 2 is, that'd be something super interesting. I think number 2 is a case that what's the plan for UK? I just mentioned 3 million. What's the plan for USA over the next month? That's cool. How do I plan to grow my business? What I'm going to do? Why I've hired a business development manager? How I plan to structure? What that's going to look like over the next 6 months? And there's a lot of other kind of little projects that I'm going to kind of be working on, but I wouldn't mind just creating like a how I'm going to do it guide, write a plan out, share it with you guys, and then obviously share back. So there's a lot that I want to do. And then also like still want to go traveling, see different bits of Mexico City. Right now, I'm just working super hard on my business. Why? Because I've just outsourced Amazon USA, which I'm so happy about. I'm so happy about that, because that means now we've got a team of 5 running the business, and I do 1-2 hours a week. And that is something that I'm spending 2 hours a week on the Amazon business. Right now, I'm not gonna lie, we are loss making, but my admin VA has forecasted that this month we should just turn a small profit. But then I don't really care. What does that mean? The next month and months afterwards, we'll start making some better profits. When I come to Q4 in Amazon USA, we're just gonna be like, I don't know, like, if I talk to I think there's more margin to be made in the US, and I think if I talk to my purchasing manager now, I'm like, this time next year, I think you'll do 1 million next year. So 2022 Amazon USA, if we can do 1 million, I'll be super happy. That's what I'm really looking at. So I'll be very happy with that. And I feel confident we've got a great team. Everything's in place. There's no reason why we can't. So I got 1 million, even if we can net out 10% margin, that's $100,000 net profit. I'll have to come back to Ali and talk about how I can get some decrease or increasing profits by reducing tax exemption or increasing that. I speak to my CPA, but I'll be really happy with that. So I think there's a lot of opportunity. And £2 million, 2 times £1 million businesses, I'll be super happy. So really happy. Tony's just come back. What a lovely place you're at. Just looked in Google. Yeah, Tony, if you ever come, Mexico City, I absolutely love it. Very beautiful, very cosmopolitan. And Tony, what I'm not saying is what you look at that Roma Norte, that is not like one little area. My God, I can run for 5 kilometers in one direction, and it's all like that. And there's so much more. There are 22 million people in the city. Absolutely beautiful. There's so much going on, and great tacos, great beer, and life is just great quality. So really enjoy it. If you want to know, also we're in red COVID right now, but nothing's locked down. So like they don't really care about COVID. So very interesting. Ali's come back. Do you do wholesale or just online arbitrage? Ali, purely online arbitrage, 100% online arbitrage. We don't deal with any wholesalers. I have done, I do understand the model. I'd like to get back into it. Right now, it's purely online arbitrage. We're doing 200,000 a month in the UK on just online arbitrage in sales. So the opportunities do exist. When everyone tells me I'm struggling, I'm like, I don't believe you. They are out there. And in the last 4 months, we had an ops meeting yesterday with my new business development manager, and he was like, Tom, why do you not compare like for like, i.e. this time last year versus where you are today? And I was like, well, this time last year we were doing 30 to 40,000. This last month just gone, we did 200,000. And that's arbitrage, all arbitrage. The orders of magnitude are just so much higher. You cannot compare. So something really to think about there. We can't do like for like because we just managed to scale so quick, but the opportunity is there. I promise you, arbitrage in USA, UK does happen. Floki's come back. When's the best time to get a VA? Floki, I've talked about this before, but I'll just kind of summarize. I think if you're UK, minimum £4,000 you need to be able to invest. If you're USA, you need minimum about 5,000. And what do I mean by that? You need that amount of cash spare in your bank account every single week, as in like you're not touching it, you've got spare cash available. That's one of the requirements I'd say. Why? Because if you can't cash flow the deals that the VA is finding, then your problem is going to be that the VA is going to cost you more money than you're making from the deals that they're selling. So you're going to make a loss, and it's going to slow your business down. So cash to invest is number one, super important. Number two, I think you need at least 1 hour a day spare that you can spend with your VA supporting them for probably at least a month, and then you can start reducing it down. Why do I say that? Because a VA isn't something you can buy tomorrow and then go, yeah, I'm thinking like they'll just kind of get it and then they'll get it going. Not at all. This is at least a 3-month period whereby you have probably the first month you're doing non-stop support. And what does that look like? Every single day you're on a call with them, you're sharing about how you're analyzing deals, what you're finding, what you're liking, supporting them. And if I share it, why? Because if you do it right, it takes 3 months at least. It takes 3 months to get them up to speed. But if you do it right in 6 months' time, 1 year's time, that VA will be on fire. And it is the first 3 months where they really do that. And what do I mean by on fire? Well, top VA, my Amazon UK business, in 1 week, by the way, they found £11,000 worth of deals, of which would generate an estimated £3,000 worth of profit. Now, in that week, we'll probably pay that VA something like, I don't know, £100, £150, to work. Obviously, we'll pay bonuses on top of that. But my God, they're generating £3,000 worth of profit for effectively what is £100 worth of cost. That's an amazing ROI. £2,900 net profit per week. Wow, that is the absolute top. Completely agree. But what you just got to understand is this is a long-term game. Build the team up, build it right. You can then run a business doing good revenue, good money, doing on very little hours because we've put in the groundwork. So that's what I do right now. Lots and lots of groundwork with my team, minimum 3-month investment. So long story short, if you think about 3 months from now, when's that? Oh, well, that's like November. That's Q4. So if you are thinking about getting a VA, do put it in now. The one thing I will say is we do have like 30 clients waiting for a VA, so they will be hired, but I do think that's something super just mindful. It takes time to get these people up to speed. So if you do it today, you'll be ready for Q4. It takes 3 months for them to be up to speed. So if you want it for Q4, you want them today is probably like now ASAP. Otherwise, it's going to be too late, and it'll be like January before they're ready. So just be mindful of that. And why Mexico? I've lived in Vietnam, Bali, Thailand, Lithuania, Gran Canaria, Cancun, lots of different places. I've traveled most of the world over the last like 3 years. I want to get selling on the US. I want to network with US sellers. I want to go to the US. Mexico City is a really great location to get to the US. Also, it's cheaper than the US, and Latin culture is just cool, like super cool. Like reggaeton music, tacos. It's just fun. I just want to have fun. That's it. Like I do my hands in fun. So hey, Mexico is super cool. Yeah, and actually, I really enjoy it. So come over, come say hi. We'll go for a beer, have some tacos. Ali's come back and said, I'm using a prep center in CA, California. Yeah, so I'm going to change it. Look to free sales tax and saw a few like, yeah, agreed. No, Ali, when you buy something online, let's say, for example, you buy something from Walmart, just do this. Go to Walmart, put an item in your basket, $100. Put the shipping address as California, you're now going to pay $108. Put your shipping address as Delaware or some tax-free state, you now pay only $100. You're basically adding an 8% increase to your cost of goods for no reason at all. Now, don't get me wrong, if your California prep center is cheap, cool, but maybe add in the cost of prep to the items you're buying, and I promise you, they're not going to be at 8%. I think it's cheaper to go ship it to a, even if it costs a bit more in a tax-free state, you're just going to save that on the sales tax. So your cost of goods is going to be cheaper. So factor in sales tax and prep fees for California versus sales tax and prep fees for like somewhere else. If you want to know, I use a company called American Warehouse in New Hampshire. Google them, look them up. I do like them. They're a big warehouse. They're about $1, I think it is, per item, and they can create the ship plans for you. Maybe not the cheapest, but you are going to save because they are tax-free. I've not met them, but I do speak to the people on the email. Just let them know Tom from FastTrackFBA sent you. I don't get anything. Maybe they'll buy me a beer when I come visit them. But it's just nice to know that I've passed some information on. I use them very quick, very efficient, and they're a big, like 100-foot warehouse, big thing. Why do I say that? Because when you scale, they're an actual warehouse. They can scale with you, like as big as you want. You'll do 1 million, they'll do 1 million, not a problem. So that's one of the big things. Like your people are in the house, they're a problem. So that's what do you call it? They're like American Warehouse, New Hampshire. I'll see if I can just find you a link. New Hampshire American Warehouse. I do need to finish up soon, so if you guys have got any questions, do let me get amaware.net. I'll see if I can drop it into StreamYard. Can I drop it in? Will that go? I think you're on YouTube, so I just dropped it in. They're the guys that I use. Just mention that I dropped you in. That just means we'll just improve our relationship. That's good. Maybe they'll buy me a beer. Nothing extra. So if you want to know, that is the web address right there. So do check them out. They're slightly more expensive than some of the other ones that I found up north, but what I was interested in is a big operation that could scale, who are running out of a warehouse. Everyone else that I found in tax-free states was running out of the home, which is just a bit like, there's no reason why you can't have 2 prep centers. It really does work. So yeah, 8% exactly. So tax-free state all the way, trust me, is a united advantage. Let's kind of bombard through these questions. I've got 5 minutes, guys. Drop your questions down below. I will try and answer them super quick. I've got 5 minutes. Power coffee. Okay, 3D Gov got to the Game of Thrones. Don't know. Amazon sellers this day are so busy, I guess. What are your best items to sell in the upcoming peak season? Amazon sellers are busy? Maybe. I don't know. Like we do $250,000 a month in Amazon UK, and I can do that in about two hours a week. So, question if they're that busy. You're busy if you want to be. That's it. Get a team of VAs, going to really help you out. What are the best items to sell? If I had to go and get some feedback. Summer's ending. Let's get out of summer products. Think about your kind of autumn stuff, anything going on there. Big things that I'm going to think about over the next kind of 2 quarters. Halloween, really big opportunity there. Also, so Christmas, lots of Christmas toys coming up. Advent calendars, opportunity there. If you want my top tips, just type in things to buy, top things to buy in like August, for example, or September. And then go find those products in Amazon, look at the keeper chart, look at the sales rank, and do you see the sales rank dropping down? If you do, you'll probably do quite well. That's my top tip. I don't know off the top of my head. My team do it all. So Ali's come back, tax states, and if I choose Delaware, Alaska, my shipping charge is going to be increasing so much because a little bit away to crowd states. I'm afraid my items are not going to sell. If you're buying, Ali, if you're buying items from like Walmart, there's really no shipping cost extra to go to like California or Delaware. Alaska, yeah, definitely. Alaska's like not part of the southern states. oh my God, of course you're going to charge a lot to go to Alaska. I think that'd be silly, but Delaware is just like next to New York or like up that side of the world. So I don't see a problem with that. New Hampshire is right where I do mine. That's pretty much quite central. Have a look at them. But yeah, I don't think do your research. Honestly, go to Google, go to Walmart, type in your address, change the address to another prep center, change the other one. You shouldn't see an increase in shipping cost. I'd be very questionable why you did. That's my prep center, guys. If you want to know, you can speak to them. They're big, they're quite good. I really like. What can you do about people returning the product and saying it was not new? I only sell brand new products to hurt my voice to the customer. Tony, unfortunately, nothing. As long as you're not getting health IP complaints on your health score, that's fine. If people are just returning it saying it's not new, two things. You can turn off refurbishment if you want to. Personally, I wouldn't. I'm not really interested, because if it's been a refurbished item sent out Amazon's fault, i.e. like it shouldn't be sold as new. I think the second one is, as long as it's not affecting your account health, I think you're absolutely fine. And that's it really. There's nothing too spectacular. I do think just monitor it. It's going to affect your customer score, but ideally you shouldn't be getting like too many problems. Like if the product you're selling has a high return rate, then it's probably a problem with the product. Look at your percentage. I think I'm running on $250,000 in the UK. We're doing like 2% return rate, 3%. I think is about okay. So not a problem. Just look at your products. Maybe you just need to go, well, no longer sell that product, find a new product and carry on, because your voice of the customer. The voice of the customer is not the end of the world. As long as they don't damage your listing, that's it. I think you should be fine, but 1 or 2 returns is fine. It's not a problem. I hope that answers you. Last question for the day. Floki says, Mexico sounds cool. Yes, it is cool. Absolutely love it. Could you do a video of monthly cost living there? I'll try, but I don't think my monthly costs are particularly proportionate. I kind of like eat out a lot. I have a nice quality of life. I really enjoy it. Yeah, like Mexico's super cool. But also as well, I work so much. Like good 14-hour days would be very common to me. But hey, more than happy to, Floki. I'll try and create a video and then obviously do that from there. Guys, that is it for today. I do have to finish. I do have another meeting. As you know, I'm probably like time boxing. Recommend that. Completely recommend time boxing. Elon Musk uses it. It allows you to allocate time. I have a time box for this call, and I have another time box for another meeting I'm about to jump into now. So what I will say is, everyone, thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you for joining me. Give me a big thumbs up. Give me a like. YouTube, Facebook, it just helps. Just let me know that you like it. But come back next week. I will answer any questions you've got, help you in your Amazon businesses. And if there's anything else I can do, let me know. But thank you for joining, spending your quality time, and thank you for listening. I really appreciate it. But hey, everyone, stay safe, keep smashing it. I'll catch up with you same time next week. Bye-bye.